really has that Final Four feel between Gonzaga and UCLA. 1 versus 2. These two teams have history. One of the most memorable games in tournament history. Jalen Suggs, the buzzer-beat-it ball game in the Final Four. Just absolutely remarkable. UCLA is back with a vengeance, though. They returned plenty of similar faces who watched that buzzer beater go in. You got Juzang, Damien Jacquez Jr., Tiger Campbell's in this one as well. So much skill back for the Bruins. As for the Zags, they bring back Drew Timme, who's picked up where he left off, averaging 20 points per game. Added #1 overall recruit Chet Holmgren, averaging 11 points and 7 boards per game. And both teams undefeated this season. Gonzaga's big win so far, 12-point victory over #5 Texas. UCLA matched that win with 4th-ranked Villanova. It has all been setting up for this clash. Both these teams have big wins. They're both undefeated. They blow out their opponents. Gonzaga ranking 4th in point differential. They're also a title favorite at 6-1, while UCLA is tied with a couple of others. They're the second shortest. If you get a ticket to this game, you are lucky. Sean Farnham gets to work it. He's out there in Vegas with us for tonight's matchup. And Sean, when you look at these two teams right now, which do you believe is better positioned to make a run not only now but all the way through a national title?
I would give a very, very slight edge to UCLA based on the continuity and the experience that they have on this roster versus some of the pieces that Gonzaga lost from last year and freshmen needing to step in as this season progresses. I focus on the shot-making ability of UCLA. And you talk about Johnny Juzang coming off of that historic run in the NCAA tournament, carrying it over to a very successful start to this year. Jaime Jaquez, another player that's probably the most important player on UCLA's roster because of his toughness, his grit, and his athleticism, ability to finish above the rim. And then you look at the depth of their shot makers, whether it's Jules Bernard or David Singleton, who's off to a sensational start from beyond the three-point arc as well. This is a team that can really hurt you in a variety of ways and have multiple scorers on the outside. And I think that bodes well for UCLA, not just tonight, but also moving forward as their aspirations are set on bringing home a title from New Orleans.
Yeah, look, it's #1 and #2 in Vegas, rematch of the Final Four. Plenty on the lawn tonight, Farnham, but what makes this matchup tonight so historic?
Well, and then the addition that Dick Vitale's returning to college basketball tonight. So, I mean, that in itself is going to be highly emotional for all of us at ESPN. He's been the soundtrack of college basketball. But what makes this so historic is there has never been a matchup between #1 and #2 with both teams coming from the West region of the United States. Listen, there hasn't been a national champion from the West region of the United States since 1997. And then you start looking deeper into this thing and you start going, in the history of the NCAA tournament, there has never been the top 2 scorers in the NCAA tournament to play each other the following year. That happens tonight with Johnny Juzang and Drew Timme, both favorites to potentially win the National Player of the Year award. This is an elite-level matchup, #1 versus #2, but it's also #1 versus #2 from the standpoint of what they accomplished last year and what they're bringing back to the table this year. It's going to be electric here in Las Vegas. Vegas, in this building in particular, it's the home of the UFC. We see that on ESPN Plus all the time. It's the home of the Golden Knights, one of the best environments in the NHL. Tonight, it'll be home to the biggest basketball game of this college basketball season thus far.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.